All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of Ram at the Fights, and we're back after a couple of weeks. Have been a bit busy, but today we're back with a guest that last week got his uh, LFA debut at LFA 208, and he got a second round finish against Tony Charles. His name is Isiah Too Sweet Pinson. Isiah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And for fighting purposes, is Zeke too sweet Pinson, baby?
Six. Oh man, I got it wrong, man.
I know you're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah, Zeke too sweet. It just flows a little bit better, you know.
Okay, okay. There you go. But not too sweet on the cage, bro. You had a there. You got a great performance. Second round TKO. You look fast, powerful. This was your light heavyweight debut, right?
Yeah, it was. It was my first time down at light heavyweight. First time since the amateurs. I did my very first amateur kickboxing fight at like I think I was like 206 or something like that.
Okay, and that's the plan going on now forward. This is your start of this is the start of the of Isaiah light heavyweight run.
Yep, this is the start of. That's also why Zeke too sweet. This is the first time I'm using that. I've had that nickname in the pocket for 3 years, 4 years. I've just been sitting on it, and now just felt like the time to go ahead and bring it out. So, new weight class, the nickname, everything, just like letting it roll.
As I said at the beginning, you look fast, powerful. It was a combination of both. You got the finish. It was part of the plan of switching to light heavyweight.
Yeah,
Develop more skills. Showing up your speed on your hands and stuff.
yeah. So that was the big plan was because as you know, I fought at heavyweight for the last couple of years, and I was doing well. I was holding my own, but holding your own isn't enough, right? So it's like you need like I want to win, but I also want to win in a dominating fashion. Also, like physically, my body prefers to be at this lower weight. You and I were talking about it before we started the podcast. Played football, and when I played football, it was about anywhere between 245 and 260. But my body still didn't feel its best at that weight. So when I did the same thing for fighting, I was starting to feel the same way. So I just feel better and healthier at this weight that I'm walking around at, and then cutting down to 205, 206 to fight. But then using that heavyweight experience that I have. So, fighting with the heavyweights, I still do all of my grappling with heavyweights, Jamal Pogues and Carl Williams. So being able to still do all of my grappling with those guys and then get in there with people when I get down to 205, like it makes a huge difference.
It was difficult to you to cut weight, or how you handle it?
No, that was the funny part. Everyone was like worried. Everybody was nervous for the like when I said I was gonna fight at 205, everybody was like, "Oh man, like are you sure?" Like and I was like, "Yeah, no, no, this is gonna be cool." I have a great dietitian, Dawn Keeley. So on top of my body already naturally wanting to walk around at 220, 225, I have a fantastic dietitian. So she made this super easy, man. My camp was amazing. My weight loss was it was awesome. Like I was having to eat food in order to not lose too much weight. So like I was eating a lot. I was still enjoying desserts, uncrustables, because I was eating within the plan that she had me eating within, and then through my training and my body burning all the calories, like I was able to eat. So I stayed. The hardest part was the day before weigh-ins when I had to cut the weight and I don't get to drink water. That last part. Um, so that night before when you're just pulling out the rest of the water. But other than that, it was easy. I think it took me 2 hours to do my weight cut. Um, so we weighed in on Thursday. So yeah, Wednesday night it took me 2 hours to do my weight cut. Um, Everything about this process for me was real smooth. So that just lets me know that I am where I'm supposed to be.
Man, no, no. I saw on your profile the LFA Instagram too. You look in excellent shape, like in the weigh-ins, and during the fight too. Like it didn't look like you gained a lot of weight on fight night.
Yeah, I
Like,
think I put on 11 pounds from weigh-ins to fight night. I was able to put back on 11. So we're gonna keep working with my dietitian to find what that sweet spot is too for how much I can rehydrate. But I felt great. Fight day, fight night, like I felt fantastic.
And I bet you felt way better after your victory.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I needed that, bro. I did because all three of my PFL fights, so my two PFL and one Bellator fight, they were all decisions. So I'm out there fighting for 15 minutes, man. Like that, I'm fighting heavyweights for 15 minutes. Like so, to for the first time in a long time, not have to fight for the full 15 minutes, but also for it to go the way that it did, in such a bloody fashion. Like Tony Charles was tough, man. Like I am super appreciative to him for the fight, but like a fantastic dance partner. And then for it to end up, just covered in blood and all that stuff. New weight class, Zeke Too Sweet, and that's the funny part about the nickname Too Sweet because it's like people who know me outside of fighting and stuff like that. Like I'm a nice person, like and everybody like I meet people and they're like, man, you're too nice to be a fighter or things like that. But then you see me get out there and do what I do, and and I enjoy that part of it too. So it's like covered in blood, and I just got a big old smile on my face. So
No, and I will back up that. I mean, the interactions we have, messaging, and before the interview, no, yeah, then it they good. But as I said before, inside the cage, not too sweet.
yep, not too sweet.
Man, did you have a chance to watch the fight again? Because you talk about all the blood. I mean, I watched the pictures, I watched the highlights again. I couldn't tell at first it was your blood, but then I figured out no, that's his opponent blood. Did you had a chance to watch it again?
Yeah, so I was able to watch it on Sunday. I forced myself to wait until Sunday. So I fought. So we fought on Friday night, and I went from Santa Cruz down to LA to go hang out with one of my best friends. Um, and so as I'm sitting there on Saturday, I was like, "Hey man, can you log into your fight pass for me so I can watch the fight?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got you." And then I stopped myself, and I was like, "All right, let me just enjoy the day because I know how my brain works. So I was immediately just gonna start because we played football. So it's like we're gonna sit down, we're gonna watch it, we're gonna start breaking it down. So I just waited, and then Sunday morning, he and I sat on the couch and just like started watching it, pausing it, watching it, rewinding it, watching it over and over again. But the funny story about the blood, and I was telling my corner this, was I think it was the first round. My nose started bleeding. So he like hit me with something, my nose started bleeding. So as we're in the second round, I didn't know that I had cut him. So as I something happens and I see my shorts, and so I have on these white shorts that are now covered in blood. I just see blood all like just all on me. And so in my head for a split second, I was like, if I don't end this fight, they're gonna stop it because I'm bleeding so much. Like I thought all that blood was mine. So
Oh,
I thought my nose was just in there leaking. And I was like, oh man, like I'm fine, but if I don't stop this fight soon, they're gonna stop it because I'm bleeding so much. And it wasn't until like I saw the pictures at the end and I was telling my coach and he was like, nah, bro, like that was his blood. And then you see all the pictures and you're like, oh, all right, cool.
yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, I read that moment for you was but at least you handled it well. Didn't play a lot with your mind, right?
Mm. I've had nosebleeds since I was a kid. So like everybody
Okay.
who knows me, yeah, like my nose bleeds like since I was in high school. So everybody who knows me is just kind of like as soon as I see it, I'm like, all right, whatever. Like it's normal at this point.
So as you said before, you have experience in PFL. You have a couple of victories there. Now you started your run in LFA. Are you gonna stay competing in LFA now, or you are like a free agent now?
That's the goal. I'm trying to continue to gain experience is really what I want. But I want to get a belt, so I would love to just continue to work my way up and get the LFA belt and then eventually make it to the big show and make it to the UFC. But I also want to take my time and gain the experience. I ended up in PFL Bellator just too quick. I had one pro fight and then ended up on the Challenger Series for PFL and then ended up doing three total fights with them. It was just very fast. So like I still have things that I'm learning. I still have elements of my game that I'm working on. This is the first time I've gotten any sort of sweep or takedown, right? So it's like all of my other fights, I kept it standing. And so this was the first time I ever initiated going for like a sweep or a takedown. So I still have elements of my game that I'm adding on to. So this time around, I want to take my time. Um, and then, as I continue to grow and develop and settle into my game a little bit more, this is also the first time I've been working on bringing back my Muay Thai kickboxing. Because I was just heavy boxing in PFL. So it's like I still got elements that I'm trying to add to my game, and still got a couple more surprises for you guys.
No, no, I can't wait to see you again, bro. And let me tell you something. That mindset that you have, it's good because if you keep getting finishes now in LFA, not only if you don't get to fight for the belt, the LFA is like a step like for UFC or like you have like a couple of performances like that. You probably get the call from Uncle Dan. You know, is that is
Hey,
that is that something that excites you?
yeah, bro. That's the call we all want, right? that's, that's the call. It's like being in the minor leagues in baseball, like that. That's the call that you're working towards, right? So, and that's like I said, I want to continue to gain experience so that when that call does come through, like I'm ready to make the most of it. Um, I don't want my performances to stop here. I want to continue getting finishes. I want to continue finding ways. I want to continue working to dominate. Um, and that way I can have a career, and it's not just short. Like that way I can have a career and like do some things, make some noise.
And that was part of the because I like what you're saying about all the things you're learning, all the things you're training, and I like that mindset a lot. But if that was part also, like for example, your last fight before that was like on March of last year,
Yep.
and then you come back a year. If that was part of the process that you were trying to get in better, or you deal with a couple of injuries. What happened?
That loss took a lot out of me. That
Oh,
loss, yeah, that loss in March like took a lot out of me as an athlete, as a person. Like it forced me to really grow as an athlete and sit within myself. There were no injuries. I just purposefully took that time off to reset myself to because like when you're winning it, you don't change much. When you lose, you kind of look at everything. And so taking that loss, I went to Thailand for 2 months, pretty much right after, to kind of get away, to be able to train, and really just sit with myself. And then I spent more of the last year working on myself as a person more than I did training my skills. Like I did a lot of training and training my skills and stuff like that. But it really came down to, sitting with my friend Jamal Pogues, and us talking about life a lot and like growing as a person, and learning how to love this sport again. And so it was like once I started to learn how to love this sport again and then listen to my body, and then I got linked up with the Njokuanis, and so I started training over here at Njokuani Muay Thai and Rebel One Fitness. So now I'm around, like I loved my previous coach, but it's like now I'm also with another group of people that I thoroughly enjoy. I enjoy coming around here. I enjoy being at the gym. I end up spending most of my time around these dudes now, even outside of the gym. I enjoy hanging out with them. And so it's like I developed another love for this sport. Like I started to love it again. I stopped caring about the money and the struggles of like how I struggle financially and all that stuff. I stopped caring about all of it. And so it was like I took that time off, and now I'm just much better, just as a person, as an athlete, and everything. And that's why this camp was so smooth. I had so much fun leading up to the fight, during the fight, in the fight. That's why I'm so proud of my performance, because it's really my first performance as a new person, like spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It's my first performance as a new athlete, really. So it's like there was a lot of new things going into this fight: new weight class, new mindset, new gym, new skills. Like it was checking off a
man.
lot of new boxes.
Man, no, that's great stuff, man. That's awesome. Not only developing your skills, but the mental health too. That's great. Like a lot of athletes, especially at a young age, don't know how to deal with,
Yeah.
and you dealing with that. That's great. Uh I don't know if I don't, as I said at the beginning, I don't want to take much of your time, but if you have time, I want to ask you how the transition from football, because you guys don't know, say I play at college football at Citadel. I was a offensive lineman.
Yep.
So how was the transition from football to MMA, or did you also train MMA as you played football? How was that?
So actually, my transition was from football to Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Okay.
MMA happened years later. And everybody asked me this question, and I'm just like, it helped, but it didn't. Because like athleticism can only take you so far. So like that's where it helped is that I was already athletic in a sense of kind of being able to bounce and move and like have decent footwork, um, and like just naturally move my body as an athlete. And then you have like some explosive power that comes from the hips and things like that that you because I played football for so long. Once you start to understand the body mechanics of throwing a punch or kick, it's like cool. I have some natural power. Um, Really where it helped me were the intangibles, like the mental toughness, being able to show up and just work and not be good at like the hardest mental part though was to go from playing football at a high level and like being good to then coming to fighting and not being good at all. And and like looking around the room and being like, I thought I could fight a little bit, and then I realized that I can't, and hear these people who are really good at this. And outside, I like if we were measuring up in the street, I would look at them and be like, man, I can beat you up. But then I see them in here and I'm like, ah, yeah, I'm not really good at this at all. And so then you have to start all the way over. But yeah, I think really football helped me from the mental aspect of being able to just show up, trust the process, and work. And I think being an offensive lineman makes it even easier because you're used to working in the shadows as a lineman. You don't get a ton of credit as an offensive lineman. So you're used to just kind of showing up and just doing the work. Um, and so like that's really what helped me. And then I'm sure there's some like physical attributes that I don't really think about that people are like, oh, because you played football, you're kind of decent at this, or this it helped you with this. But for me, it seemed like it felt like it was more mental stuff that it helped with than it did like really physically.
Oh no, that's great. No, it's funny you say, yeah, the offensive lineman never get the credit, man. It's always the quarterback.
Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, like they get all the
Receivers,
credit. But
now the
if we
corner,
don't block, they don't do anything.
yeah,
Like if we don't block, they don't
yeah.
do anything.
Now the cornerbacks too are asking for money, man. It's good.
Yep.
uh, say, man, I really appreciate your time. I know you're in the gym, you want to train. I don't want to take much of your time.
You're good, brother.
Thanks for doing this. But before we go, in a perfect time, what's your plan on coming back, or when you want to come back?
I just actually had that conversation with my manager, so I'm thinking perfect time for me would be September, October, because I still have some things I want to clean up. As proud of I am for myself with that performance, I'm also my harshest critic. So as I rewatch it, I'm not really watching for all the things that like went my way. I'm looking at the small things that I need to do better. So I want to take a little bit more time to continue to work on some of those things that I want to clean up. Um, and then yeah, get back September, October. But also I'm gonna keep my weight. I'm gonna keep my weight in a good range. And I'm gonna tell my manager like, I'm gonna keep my weight in a good range, and whatever good opportunity comes across, like I'll just stay ready um, for whatever. But yeah, good for me, a good time frame be September, October.
You have it, guys. The light heavyweight division is on notice now. Isaiah Pinson. Isaiah, where can people follow you on social media?
So you can follow me on social media, Instagram at Zeke Too Sweet, ZekeToosweet, Zeke Too Sweet on Instagram.
There you have it, guys. Thank you, Isaiah, and thank you everybody for that's watching this. And remember to like the interview and subscribe to the channel. Thank
Thank
you.
you too, brother. Thank you.
All right.